Welcome to another episode of Fashion with Roshi. Today we are here at Besso in Brooklyn with the gorgeous Tracy Kebatta. Tracy works for Rag & Bone. It's a contemporary men's and women's wear fashion house. We're going to be talking about fashion, so join in. We're here at Besso in Brooklyn. I'm with the gorgeous Tracy Kebatta. How are you, Tracy?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. She works for Rag & Bone. It's a contemporary women's and men's wear design. We're going to be talking about fashion and the industry in general. So it's going to be a very interesting conversation. First off, tell me about your work. What exactly do you do at Rag & Bone?
So Rag & Bone, it's a pretty interesting position actually. What I do is I do all things that reach the consumer,
right?
That sort of resonate with the consumer and make the brand messaging consistent.
Okay.
Be it with how we tell the story in our stores, how we tell the story in our advertising, how we tell the story in our design, how we tell the story in our wholesale customers. So every single touch point I'm responsible for making sure that every single touch point that the consumer sees gives and tells a synonymous message.
Oh wow. So when you say the store, are you talking about the store layout? Were you talking about the magazine? Are you talking about the magazine spreads?
We're talking about more by how the store is merchandised.
Right.
What product is in the stores.
Right.
Does it resonate with our consumer? Is it our Rag & Bone consumer?
Okay.
Also, how is it placed? How is it merchandised? How is it visually displayed?
Okay.
And then with that being said, I look at our advertising and I'm like, well, advertising is giving us a different message. We need to switch it up to tell whatever story it is that we're going for.
Right. So does this happen in every season? Like every season you have to do the same thing? Like if it's fall, you have to come up with a story for fall, for the stores, for the whole line?
We have our design team comes up with what's inspiration.
Okay.
And then we all have to sit in the room and say, well, is that inspiration synonymous with the Rag & Bone consumer?
Okay.
So once we sit down, we're like, okay, this is the message we want to convey. Then my job comes in and I make sure that we're hitting that message every single step of the way. Yeah.
Oh my
God. Be it in advertising, be it in how we showcase the merchandise in the store, be it how the consumer comes in and buys it, be it how Saks comes in and buys it. We're like, this is what we need you to buy, put it in your store, it has to look this way.
Oh wow. Yeah. So how did you get into this particular job, this branding? What did you do to get there? So kind of give me an idea, maybe school or how you transition into fashion. Because when you tell people I work in fashion, they want to know, how did you get in? How did you find your way in there?
Yeah. It's actually, my road has been a really interesting road. I actually started my career off at Goldman Sachs working in finance after college.
All right.
And I was there for about 4 months. Okay. And I was very miserable, but I was always very number savvy. And then a friend of mine reached out to me and said, Saks has a training program and you have what it takes because you have great style and you're great with numbers. Right. So I said, I'm going to apply for the training program. And I miraculously got in.
Right.
And then I started my career off as a buyer.
Okay.
So I used to buy men's tailored clothing for Saks Fifth Avenue.
Wonderful.
So I was there for about 4 years. And then I ended up moving to Bloomingdale's and doing the same thing for Bloomingdale's. So from that angle, I understood fashion from a very business standpoint. Like, if it doesn't make dollars, then it doesn't make sense.
Because the whole reason for everything is to make a profit.
Is about money.
Yeah, you have to make the money.
Yes. So having that exposure gave me so much insight into how fashion operates as a business.
Okay.
And then at some point I realized I'd sort of plateaued in my career and I decided I wanted to go to business school.
Okay.
And I went to business school and I took a really interesting program in business school. I did luxury branding and finance. And I flew to Monaco.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How was that? How was the experience?
That requires an entirely different attitude. because Monaco is a place that's very outside of this world.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's for real.
but what the program did is they taught you how to run a fashion house.
Okay.
We had exposure to like Gucci and how that was formed, Giorgio Armani and how that was formed, LVMH and how they diversified their portfolio with their brands and how that came about. So I got a lot of insight into how you manage a company top to bottom. The biggest thing for everybody to understand in fashion is know your body.
Yeah.
Know your body. Know your body and know your personality, and then dress to your body and your personality. I find like the same dress I have on isn't going to look the same on you. It's not going to look the same on the next person. And I think that's where people just don't understand. Like they read magazines and they're like, oh, that looks good, but is it going to look good
buy
on
into
you?
it.
Yeah. So I think people sometimes have to see past the smoke and mirrors and adopt their own style. And I think, even seeing people, you can always tell the authenticity of someone's style. You're like, okay, that's their thing. That's what they do.
What would you tell someone who is trying to break into the fashion industry? Whether it's, branding, what
Yeah.
you're doing right now, or fashion design, fashion stylist, what would you tell them? What would be your words of wisdom per se?
Biggest words of wisdom for someone who's trying to come into the industry is be relentless. If you like, or if you love this industry, you have to be relentless. It's very unforgiving. Like most industries, it's all about who you know.
Right.
It's very impatient, but you have to be relentless.
Okay.
And if you can't get into the industry, then you still have to work within the periphery such that you're always close to the fire, so you're always aware of opportunities if they open up. Yes.
Alright.
Like you can't say I want to be in fashion, but you work in construction and do nothing about fashion. You'll never really know what's happening.
Yes, you have to be where it's at.
Yeah.
The nucleus
Yeah.
of everything.
Yeah.
Alright.
You have to kind of keep your finger on the pulse, so to speak. Yeah.
Well, there you have it, guys. Tracy Kebatta, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining me here. It's been
you.
here.
Cheers,
Yeah,
cheers,
it's been
cheers.
very, very informative, and
I hope
I've
so.
learned some things that I didn't know, and I'm sure you guys will definitely learn something. Or
I hope so.
Pick up something from Tracy.
Yeah.
So we're here at Versus. We're about to just finish up our brunch. Thank you guys for watching. Check us out at KenyanVibe.com. That's on Twitter, or online at KenyanVibe.com. You can check me out on my Facebook at Unconventional. So there you have it, guys. Have
you.
a wonderful day, and we'll go ahead and have our brunch.
We're gonna keep going at this.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
That's nice.